Hello, Internet brethren of mine. We are now here in the finals of the winners bracket, semifinals of the entire tournament. It is going to be a very fun TVT of NOVAstalife, the Terran on the left, going up against bLur, the Terran on the right. So we saw a cool game, and we're about to have a pause from bLur. I'm going to continue with the intro. It's a cool game last game. Both these players are very strong. Stalife is actually invited to the TQ Invitational, which is a tournament you guys should all look at. We got lag coming in from a paused player. But I'm tQzander, and along with me, as always, is the most amazing.
tQAtticus, and as usual, I'm glad to be here. Thank you again to our sponsors, eSpot, Billiards and Arcade. If you're in Vancouver or Canada in general, just if you live in Calgary, don't live in Calgary. Move to Vancouver and go to eSpot Billiards and Arcade. They're such a great venue.
Yes, they are sponsoring this live LAN tournament that's at their venue, and Atticus and I are not there, and it makes us sad.
Very jealous. I would live in like I mentioned earlier, I would live in a roach warren.
I can't beat that. I would not live in a Roche Warren. That just sounds way too icky.
I would chill out because it's always cool in the spawning pool. I would live in a pool of Zerglings next to eSpot Billiards and Arcade if I were able to actually be there.
Yeah, and oh, bLur's going for a refinery before barracks.
Oh, here we go again.
Ooh, this could be cool to see. Starlife has had this used against him in this tournament. Let's see how he does it, handles it again.
hmm
Alright, Starlife, do you have any predictions for what these players are going to do?
well, just as you say that, bLur places down a barracks. I believe this is just going to be an early reactor barracks, possibly Hellions. Can't say for sure. There really are a lot of things you can do, especially considering the fact that it's a rather unorthodox play with an early refinery before barracks. So it's up to the player to delineate the build. I can't predict it from here.
Yeah, a couple of the options that can be done when you have this early refinery is get the fastest 1-1-1 possible. You can get your factory directly after this barracks finishes, which means you can rush for Banshees ASAP. In fact, okay, this might be an obscure reference for some people, but the King of the Beta Hill, the King of the Hill tournament by MLG back in the beta, where you had Desert Oasis as one of the maps, we saw Hydra lose to, I forget who it was, but there was a 12 barracks, 12 factory, 12 starport Banshee rush that Hydra lost to.
hmm
It was amazing to witness. That was the fastest Banshee I've ever seen.
Yep, and it looks like your prediction is turning out to be correct for bLur, as he starts putting a tech lab on the barracks, and his factory went down immediately after.
Alright, it's interesting that he's getting the tech lab on the barracks. I think he's going for a really fast tank with this kind of planning. We'll see. Oh no. What? And then he's going to build a star port right on top of that bear.
hmm
Why is I don't get why he got that tech lab then instead of getting out Marines to be safe earlier on. I think it'd been much smarter to get that tech lab later on.
Risky play.
Yeah.
As we still see, bLur still has zero fighting units. Now
Yeah.
just one Hellion. Oh, and a Marine. Sorry, I take that back. But two
But
Marines and a Hellion, not enough to hold off any early one base aggression.
yeah, no doubt about that. Now, something to note though, so you can actually really see the difference in the builds is that Stala seems to be going for a normal 1-1-1 Banshee, and you can see that his starport is only halfway done, and look at this, a Banshee is already being built for bLur. That is the timing difference between the factory. It is a very, very significant difference.
Yeah, but of course, Stalife, being the slower to the 1-1-1, means that he does in fact have more harvesters.
Yet more harvesters, more marines, more really everything.
More scary macro from a very strong macro player.
Yeah, the thing is though is that the food count is actually in favor of bLur right now, 35 to 31. Very interesting to see that. I'm not quite sure how that actually managed to work out. It might be the beefier units that were made is doing this. Um, but yeah, we do have a Hellion that can actually poke up into a bunker and die if bLur decides to push up.
Well, let's see. He is moving out with a few more Hellions. It is very likely that he'll be able to just scoot by the bunker and cause some serious havoc.
Yeah, and now Starlife is researching Cloak. He has a Banshee about to pop out. We could see a very strong push from bLur. We'll see if he uses the Banshee within the main force or is using it in the main force instead of harassment. It's going to give him vision of the high ground and allow him to do a lot of attacking.
Yep, and this is a big force from bLur.
Yeah.
Stalife really only has about 5 Marines. A Banshee just on the way.
Yeah, I think we should have one Banshee out by now. Starlife does have a Banshee out somewhere, but it's going towards the main base of bLur. It takes out one Marine on the way. But here we go. bLur might just push in right now. He's got a very, very strong chance, but he takes so many hits in the medevac.
Oh, that
Oh
was a
my
little bit of a
god.
miss micro.
That's
Now
more.
elevatoring. Oh no! Are
Starlife's
these
going to
Marines
hit
gonna
it.
get the medevac? They
Oh!
do. The medevac goes down. All the Hellions go down.
bLur
When
just.
GG is called.
Oh.
Wow! A critical miss micro cost the game.
Oh my god. Oh, that hurt to witness. He just. Oh my god.